In this video, we are going to be discussing dividing both whole numbers and decimals. In our previous lesson, we talked about addition, subtraction, and multiplication. And today we're going to talk about dividing. So let's get started. All right, so let's look at this first example here. A tortilla bakery makes 863 packages of tortillas to sell to restaurants. Each restaurant receives the same number of packages as a complete order. How many restaurants can receive a complete order? So I see over here that there are 18 packages per order. And I also see that there are 863 total packages right here. So we need to say how many 18s fit in 863. So we need to figure out how many times 18 would make 863. So we're going to be dividing here. 863 split up into groups of 18. 18 does not fit into 8. So we're going to put an X over there. But it does fit into 86. 18, you might not know your 18 facts off the top of your head, but we can come over here and we can take a look. 18 times 5 is 90, so that's just a little bit too much. Let's try 4. 18 times 4 is 72, so that's what we're going to be able to fit. 18 times 4 is 72, and then we subtract. And again, hopefully this is looking familiar. 6 minus 2 is 4, 8 minus 7 is 1. And now we're going to bring down this last 3. So now we're going to say, how many 18s make 143? This is where we need to do some estimating or some guessing. I know that 18 times 10 would be 180, so that's too much. 18 times 5 is 9, so that's also too much. Is 90, so that's also too much. So we know that it's a number somewhere between 5 and 10, because 5 is too little and 10 is too many. Let's try 7. 18 times 7 is 126. That might be a little bit low. Let's see if we can go even higher. 18 times 8. Ooh, that is one too many. So we're only going to be able to fit 7. 18 times 7 is 126. Subtract, we would get 17. And then we would continue. We normally would continue our problem, but we don't need to, because since there's a remainder, it is asking how many complete packages. So we know that 47 complete packages can be made, and then there would be 17 left over. All right, let's keep going. Workers at an electronic company pack 2,610 phones in boxes. Each box holds 9 smartphones. How many boxes do they fill? So we need to split up that 2,610 boxes, and we're going to divide it into groups of 9. We're going to figure out how many 9s can fit into 2,610. All right, so now that I've set up my problem, 9 does not fit into 2, but it does fit into 26 twice. I know that 3 is too many because 9 times 3 is 27, and that would be too many. So we're going to stick with 2. Subtract 26 minus 18 is going to be 8. Bring down that 1. Ooh, 9 fits into 81 9 times exactly. 9 times 9 is 81. Subtract, you get 0. And we're going to bring down our last 0. Now, we need to ask how many 9s fit into 0, and that answer is going to be 0 because we can't fit any more. 9 times 0 is 0. Our remainder is 0. So we can fill 290 boxes because 9 groups of 9 phones times 290 makes 2,610. Let's keep going. All right. Now let's look at when we want to put a decimal in the quotient. For instance, 180 divided by 8. I know that 8 does not fit into 1, so we're going to put an X. 8 does fit into 18 twice. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract, you get 2. Bring down my 0. 8 fits into 20 twice. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract, you get 4. Now I have brought down all of my numbers, but I still have a remainder. Normally in 5th grade, you would just write remainder 4, but we're in 6th grade, so we're going to upgrade that a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this 180.0, and I'm going to add a decimal point to my quotient. And by doing this, I can now bring down that 0. 8 fits into 40 5 times. Exactly. So 40 minus 40 is 0. So my final quotient here would be 22.5. Again, we are not using remainder 4 anymore. We're going to be adding in that extra decimal and a 0 to bring down and continue the problem. And then remember, this decimal goes straight up into the quotient. All right, let's keep going. All right, so now let's look at decimals. When there is a decimal on the inside, we're just going to move it straight up. So let me move that straight up. And I'm just going to start the problem by doing that. All right, now we're just going to divide like normal. 12 does not fit into 8, but it does fit into 80 6 times. 12 times 6 is 72. Subtract, you get 8. Bring down the 9. 12 fits into 89 7 times. 12 times 7 is 84. Subtract, you get 5. Bring down the 4. 12 fits into 54 4 times. 12 times 4 is 48. Subtract, you get 6. Bring down the 0. 12 fits into 60 5 times exactly. So our quotient here would be 67.45. Again, notice that decimal just goes straight up into the quotient, and then we just divide like normal. All right, last but not least, we're going to look at when there is a decimal on the inside. And we're going to do this problem here. Raphael drove 141.4 miles in 2.8 hours. What is the speed in miles per hour? So we want to split up this 141.4 into 2.8 hours to get miles in 1 hour. When there is a decimal on the inside, we cannot leave it there. We're actually going to make a scoot. And that means that 2.8 is now going to be a 28. But to keep things fair, if we make a scoot on the outside, we're also going to make a scoot on the inside. So that 141.4 is going to become a 1,414. And now we divide like normal. 28 does not fit into 1. It does not fit into 14. But it does fit into 141. Let's try 5 times. Ooh, I got it. Okay, 28 times 5, 140. So 28 times 5 is 140. Subtract, you get 1. Bring down our 4. 28 fits into 14 0 times. So we're going to subtract. 28 times 0 is 0. Subtract, we get 14. Now here is where we're going to add in that decimal point and bring down another 0 because we're not just going to write remainder 14. 28 goes into 140, and we already know that that goes into 145 times. So my final quotient would be 50.5. He went 50.5 miles per hour. All right, we are going to keep going over this, but we are going to stop here and we will answer questions soon. All right, bye guys.